Okay, thank you everyone for coming. Good to see some good numbers here already, and there's a few that look like they're just trying to join us as we speak. For those who haven't been to one of our Wednesday sessions before, we've been running these past few weeks, touching on a few topics like mental health. We did strength and conditioning last week, and we're very fortunate the next 2 weeks we'll be covering mindset and nutrition. So we have Natalie and Lisa here with us, who will be our hosts for the next 2 weeks, just going through those topics. So we're very fortunate to have them. I might pass on to you, Natalie, to introduce yourself and lead off from here.
Yes, beautiful. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for having me, everybody. Let me just share my screen while we navigate these logistics. All right, so tonight I'm very fortunate to be able to share some knowledge and learning, and also, you know, have an interactive session where we talk about mindset and really around mindset for performance and you know, performance in you know, what you do in terms of fitness and basketball, but also, you know, it's mindset learning that you can apply to any element of your life. So my name is Natalie Moore, and I work as a wellness and mindset coach in my own business with Lisa Saunders, who is also online there, and she will be taking the nutrition session next week. But really, the reason I got into the work that I do is through my marathon running. So I ran my first marathon back in 2013. And when I ran my first marathon, I said, that's it, that's the last one. And then the next day I woke up and I thought, beautiful, I can do this again. And here I am, what is it? You know, 7 years later, I've done 5, couple of international ones and an ultra marathon as well. And the reason I love talking so much about mindset is because it has been the power of my mind, which has kept me focused, motivated, and energized throughout my whole life. So, you know, motivated through my running, motivated through my work as a small business owner, and also, you know, in life as well with my family. And so I've really come to appreciate, not just from a professional point of view, but a personal point of view, and, you know, chasing personal goals such as running, and I assume like yourselves with your basketball, you know, the power of the mind, and just how strong it is in helping us to feel motivated and go after the goals that we really want to take. So whenever I get the chance to talk about mindset, I'm always super excited. So thrilled to be here, as I said. So over the next 45 minutes or so, and we'll have an opportunity for questions at the end if you wish to. You're also welcome to pop any questions that you may have throughout the session. I do have a couple of prompters that I would love for you to engage with me and interact with me, and you can either provide your answers through the audio, so you just need to unmute yourself, or there's also the chat function down the bottom as well, which you can use. So either or, I'm happy. I'll just, you know, you'll know when I ask you the question, and I'd encourage you to interact if you do feel comfortable. If you don't, that's totally fine as well. What I will encourage you is to just reflect on the questions that I'm asking you, and, you know, maybe just have a moment to think about it, and you know, see how it relates to you and whether you've thought of that before. So I'm going to start the session talking about what is your mindset. I'm also going to talk about setting goals and how setting goals can really help with our motivation and productivity and energy. I'm also going to talk about dealing with obstacles and the things that get in our way. And then I'm going to give you a couple of strategies on how you can create some performance habits. So as I do with any session that I run, I always start off with this exercise for the mind, I'm calling it tonight, but essentially it's a 3-question exercise. And the reason I love this so much is because before we get into a level of learning, and particularly around our mindset, I love to try and exercise the mind and the brain and get you really thinking about where you are today in terms of how you're feeling, what's going good. So, you know, some of the highlights in your week or in your day, but also talking about some of the things that you may be struggling with. And particularly at the moment in our current environment, you know, all of us are struggling with something to some degree at some point in our life. And the reason I love this exercise so much is because it allows us to start to normalize that struggle is a part of living. And this exercise really helps us to you know, share that with others, people that we care about, with friends, you know, teammates, even if you are working, you know, doing it with your work colleagues as well. And then the third question there is, what do you need right now? Or what support or what learning or what opportunity could you grasp to try and help you through the struggle that you're experiencing right now? So if everybody is willing to engage and have a go, I'd love to hear, what is one thing that's going really good for you right now? And it doesn't have to be big, it can be really small. I do this exercise with my husband and daughter at the dinner table. She's nearly 6, she'll be 6 on Monday. You know, and the good things that she comes up with, as you can imagine, are pretty small, but you know, they're big for her. So does anyone want to share what's going good for them right now? Let's have a look in the chat. School is going pretty good right now. Oh, that's great, Henry. Really good. Especially navigating it remotely as well. That's really good to hear. Anyone else want to share? Marcus is doing good in school too. That's awesome. And how is everyone navigating remote learning? Surviving? Sounds like there's a few of you that are enjoying it. All right, so far, that's good. Anyone else want to share what might be going good for them right now? More exercise is good. Yes, that's good. I know I'm utilising the time that we get out to go out for a run. All right, so what I'll do is I'll get you just to think about it. You know, if you don't want to share, that's totally fine. But you know, just have a think. What is going good? And as I said, it could be really small or it could be something big. Kira's got to becoming focused with school. I love that. That's really great. That obviously the remote learning is serving a lot of you, which is good. All right. Second question: what are you struggling with right now? And you know, the question about struggle is always an easier one to answer, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. It's you know, usually a lot easier for us to notice what's not working, what's not going well. Mark, never thought I would miss a noisy basketball stadium. Motivation, being away from family. Yes, definitely. Not being able to play basketball on Fridays and Saturday. Missing friends. Motivation. Yeah, there's a lot of those at the moment, a lot of those intrinsic emotions and needs that we all need just in life, right? To thrive and to live well and to enjoy the things that we enjoy. Socializing. Danielle Oakley is struggling with all the bad news. Yes. Yep. And unfortunately, that's where our brain always goes, to the negative. And as I said, I will talk about that. So again, whether you've shared your comment here or you're reflecting on it in your own personal space, I want you to have a think about the third question now. What do you need right now? All right, now this might be in the form of a learning, it might be in the form of support. You know, do you need to reach out to someone? It might be, you know, can we turn this struggle into an opportunity? So, you know, those of you who are, you know, struggling with motivation, think about, you know, what's the source of that lack of motivation, and how could you perhaps turn that into some type of opportunity that you could, you know, start to learn from, or look at this as an opportunity to learn, that you could definitely apply in the future. Kira, family, yes, yeah, we definitely need our networks around us right now. Riley, yes, kudos to you, mate. We do need those restrictions to go away, to not be in lockdown, absolutely. Sport to come back, to be back on the court again, yeah. Normality, yes. Yeah, so think about how you could, you know, as much as you're missing sport and as much as we're missing the normality of what life was pre-COVID, how could you turn that into something that you could do today? So yes, we are stuck with the restrictions we've got, and obviously, you know, we can't control that. We can't control that area, but what we can control are the things that we could do. So in terms of that third question, think about, what is it? What opportunity, you know, is it something that you could do in your day, even for a short time, to help you through the process of what we're currently experiencing? So thanks everybody for sharing. I appreciate that. I know it takes, can be a little bit daunting sometimes to share those details. So thank you. All right, so I want to talk to you about mindset and what mindset is. So of course our mindset is all about our mind, and you know, it starts in the brain. And essentially when we think about mindset, it is a belief in our abilities and potential. Okay, and what contributes to that belief are our personal experiences and or those of others. So no matter what age we are, and I know that there's a broad range of different ages online right now, but we are all tuned into our own experiences, but also the experiences that we've had through our childhood, through adulthood, if we've reached that stage, but also through our relations with other people and the types of things that we enjoy. And, you know, I'd assume being part of a basketball community, that there's a lot of experiences that you've learnt from each other. And so our mindset is built on that, built on our traditions, our rituals, our experiences and our beliefs. Our mindset very much shapes our everyday life, right? And it really plays an impact on everything that we do. It has a very powerful influence on our actions. And not only that, you know, it affects the way we think, the way we feel, and the actions that we take. Even think about yourself in the current situation with these restrictions. You know, our mindset is constantly, you know, focused on where we want to be and the experiences that we're used to having. And all of a sudden that has been flipped on its head, but we still can't let go of the beliefs or the experiences that we know life to be. The beauty of our mindset is that we can actually change it and we can grow it. So is anyone familiar with the growth mindset and or the fixed mindset? Has anyone heard of this before? See if anyone pops in the chat. No, that's all good. Beautiful. So our mindset is made up of two types. So a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And there's quite a well-known American psychologist or professor who has done a lot of work around mindsets and the power of our mindsets. And so she essentially defines growth mindset as our belief that intelligence and abilities can be improved. All right, so we are looking at a situation and looking at and saying, you know what, yes, I do have this level of ability right now, but I can improve on that. And I can improve on that through practice, through strategies, through work, through applying myself, through building belief. And so it's all about learning and growing. So if I may refer to my running, when I first started running, I was 25, so 13 years ago. I'd never done any running or sport in my life before. And the first time I ran 4K, I was heaving under a tree. I felt so sick. And, you know, never had I thought that marathons were even in the vicinity of my vision. But what that fueled in me was an interest to see what I could do. I was always, conscious and curious about what my body could do and what my mind could do. And so your growth mindset is really looking at the fact, okay, you know what, I haven't run before. Yes, I nearly died trying to run this 4-kilometer track, but you know what, I can actually improve and I can build on it. And that's what your growth mindset is about. Your fixed mindset, on the other hand, is a core belief that intelligence and abilities are fixed. Okay, so that's where we might look at our failings, or we might look at things that have happened or things that we haven't been able to do, and look at them and think, well, that's it. That's as good as it's going to get. I'm not going to be able to improve. All right, and at different situations, we might have a fixed mindset. In other situations, we might have a growth mindset. But the beauty of knowing that we have two different mindsets is that we can start to look at opportunities to nurture a growth mindset. And that's essentially what we want to do. And that 3-question exercise that I started with is trying to nurture that growth mindset, right? That we're looking at, I've got some great things in my life right now. Yes, I've got some struggles, but this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity that perhaps I can start to look at this as a learning, as an opportunity to grow through this current situation. And so when we, collate the two mindsets and, just to summarize, it's you can improve your abilities through strategies, right? And it's about, having that sense of belief, but it's also about having that sense of curiosity as well, and actually seeing, what is possible for me, how far can I take this? What can I do? Even in the midst of the current situation where, you guys are sidelined, so to speak, what can you do in that situation or in this situation to still improve on your skills, still improve your abilities? And, you might not be able to be out there physically playing basketball, but, is there other opportunities for learning? Is it listening to books or reading books or listening to podcasts or watching documentaries? And, of course, attending a session like this is absolutely a level of growth mindset learning, because you're opening your eyes to new possibilities and new potential. One way that we can develop our growth mindset is to focus in on your strengths. So a lot of the time and it's just natural human nature, that we get caught up in our weaknesses. And so naturally, we always want to try and improve the things that we're not good at. It's just a natural thing. If I'm not good at something, well, I'm going to improve that. But when we actually look on the other side and start to look at our strengths, we can actually start to grow and build the things that we are good at, and use that to help us improve our abilities, improve our capabilities, rather than trying to focus on the things that we're not good at and then, feeling deflated or struggling with motivation because we're constantly focused on the things we're not good at. Let's focus on the things we are good at, and how do we nurture those? How do we build on those? And so again, if I can share my experience of running, the thing that I was, one of my top strengths is that I, have a real zest for trying new things. And, a key strength of mine is that if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And so I've always been true to my word. And so I use that to help me stay focused and motivated when I set some pretty big, running goals. So I'd love to hear from yourselves. And again, you're welcome to use the chat or the audio. Let me just put the screen on so I can see. Anyone want to share with me what's something that you're good at? And it could be a character strength or a personality strength. It could also be a behavior strength as well. If you were to think about the things that you are good at, what are you good at? And as you can probably relate, it takes actually a lot for us to share what we're good at. Okay, what have we got? Henry, good at maths. Great. Kira, don't give up. Yeah, I love that, Kira. That's good. So think about how can you nurture these strengths or the things that you're good at, to help improve your focus and help improve your motivation. Anyone else want to share? And again, if you prefer not to share, that's totally fine. Just reflect on it yourself and have a think about, think about what is it that I'm good at. Maybe put it on, pen to paper and write it down. Marcus, commitment to working out. Yes, that's great. Michaela is caring. Yeah, beautiful. So how do you, think about these strengths? How do you use these to help, nurture your own health, your own personal goals, but also, your relationships, and also how do you use this to help you get through your current situation that we're all facing? Anyone else care to share before I continue on? We've got plenty more opportunity to share as well. Yeah. Okay, has anyone seen the SMART goal acronym before? And so this is a really powerful tool that you can use to help power your mindset. And what I'm going to share with Todd after the session is just a one-pager with a bit of information around mindset, but I'm also going to have a little exercise in there where you get to set your own goal. Now, the power of this SMART acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And what it does is it focuses our attention on a type of goal that we want to achieve. But you see, when we've got measurable in there, and we've got realistic, and we've got timely in there, it helps us to create some accountability. So if I can give you an example, and maybe if I give an example in basketball. So say, for example, you might want to be working on your basketball skills over the next week, whilst we're in lockdown. And so you might be looking and saying, okay, what can I do? I want to be working on my skills. I want to be doing more around my fitness, but then every time I think I'll do it, I just lose motivation, or I just can't be bothered, or something else comes up, right? We all go through it, no matter how experienced we are. When we can set a SMART goal to the activity that we want to do, that creates some accountability. So if you look and say, okay, let's look at the next week, Monday to Sunday, I want to do, basketball skills 3 times a week. I want to do a run or some type of walk or bike, once a week. So you might set a goal and say Monday, Wednesday, Friday at say 12 o'clock, I'm going to do 45 minutes basketball skills. On Thursdays, I'm going to do a bike ride or a run, and that's going to be for say 30 minutes. So you can see how the difference in setting a goal that is time bound. Okay, so we've set our day, we've set our time, we've set our duration, and looking at that, we can actually measure that. So you could look at the following week and reflect and say, okay, I did achieve my goal, I did go out and do those sessions, but I only did 15 minutes across each of the 3 sessions because I just didn't have the time. And so the beauty of being able to measure that is you can look back and say, okay, so what did I need to help me do that half an hour or 45 minutes that I wanted to do? What didn't work? Is it that I've got to change the time? Is it that the day is no good? Is it that there was something else that come up? And so being able to set a goal like this gives us the opportunity to focus our attention. And so with that one pager that I have got, and I will send out to you, I want you to think about a goal, and maybe, it's say in 3 months' time, maybe it's a goal that you want to set by the end of the year. What is it that you want to achieve? All right, and it might be personal, it might be basketball related, but it's about just starting and just thinking about a goal. So if you can reflect, well, let's say Christmas time, right? Anyone got a particular goal that they want to achieve by Christmas this year? Is there something that, you've been working on prior to COVID? We all start the year very excited about what we want to try and achieve. Is there a particular goal? So improve my agility and speed. Okay, nice one, Henry. So if you look at that as an overarching big goal, how do we then break that down? All right, what do you need to improve your agility and speed? All right, what does that involve? What does that encompass for you? So is that particular sessions that you've got to do? Like, is there particular speed sessions or endurance sessions that you need to do to help improve your agility and speed? Do more fitness. Okay. So what I would suggest then is that you have a look at the types of sessions that you need to do to help improve your agility and speed. So, you know, maybe a particular fitness session. How do you break this huge goal into a smaller goal? All right. So how do we start to work backwards? All right. And so really we've got to start week 1. All right. So if you look at next week, week 1, what do you need to do week 1 to help you get closer to that goal, right? Is it that you need to, you know, maybe say that you're going to commit to 1 fitness session, all right? So pick your day, pick your time, pick your duration, and that's your target, right? That's your goal that you're going to achieve. Week 2, you might look at and say, you know what, I did that 1 session pretty well. I'm going to add 2 more sessions next week, all right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this is the session I'm going to do. This is the time that I'm going to do it, and actually write it down. So there's a lot of research out there to suggest that when we actually put pen to paper and we write down our goals, that we actually have a greater chance of success in achieving our goals than if we typed out our goals. In using pen and paper, we create neural connections to the brain, and our brain actually connects to that goal much deeper than if we were to type it out. So if you can, when you get that 1-pager, write out your goal. All right. And what I'm going to also say, share your goal. So share your goal with your teammates, with your family, with your coach, you know, let them know what you're trying to achieve. And have a longer term goal. So for example, with me, the running, you know, running a marathon itself is the bigger goal. But week on week, I've got particular training sessions I've got to do to get me there, all right? So I can see the big goal that I want to achieve, but I've got to break it down into smaller bites. So, you know, break it down. So Cavallaro family, you know, improve my shooting, right? So break it down. What does that involve? You know, do you need to have targeted shooting sessions, all right? And how often might you be able to do that in a week? Mark is also fitness, so very similar to Henry, and Riley, yeah, improve endurance and running. So yeah, again, very similar to the others that, you know, look at what does that look like, you know, and is there actually a number, all right? So with your running, do you want to be running at a certain pace? You know, so a pace per kilometre. Do you want to be running a certain distance? With your speed and agility, you know, is there a number that you can put it on, that you can measure it? All right, and then you slowly build up to that. The key when it comes to goal setting is that we're not meant to get to our big overarching goal tomorrow. We've got to work to it, right? And very much like we have to exercise our physical body to achieve our goals, we have to exercise our brain as well. Because in actual fact, our brain is very, very lazy, and we need to exercise it and practice it to achieve all the things that we want to achieve. So I sort of got into that prior to that, but yeah, what is one goal you want to achieve? All right, what's one thing that you want to work towards? And whether you wanted to share it here or not, when you get that 1 page, you know, write it down. What is it? What is it that excites you for the rest of the year? And think towards Christmas. You know, it's not that far, which is quite scary. So it's a good time frame to work within. All right, now I want you to think about what is getting in your way. What's the big thing that's getting in your way right now? And I think, you know, we probably know what that is right now. You know, some of you shared it before in terms of what you're struggling with. Is there anything else that gets in the way? Are there any other obstacles that stop you? So when you look at this goal of speed, endurance, shooting, you know, is there a particular obstacle that's, you know, stops your belief or stops you thinking that you can actually go for it? Yep, COVID-19, COVID time limits, yeah. So think about it. A lot of the time when we are working towards a pretty big goal, that's pushing us out of our comfort zone, right? And so our brain loves comfort. And the way that our brain is hardwired, it is hardwired to protect us. And so if it starts to detect that we are going out of our comfort zone, it starts to flood our brain with fear, with, you know, self-doubt. The inner critic kicks in and we start thinking, I can't do that. You know, even when I was thought of a marathon, I thought, I can't do that. So we have to, you know, get into the habit of saying, no, that's an old belief, right? That's past experience. I can do that. And of course it takes belief, but it also takes work. It's also about taking action as well. Riley's got motivation, Marcus confidence. Yeah. So we need to try and kick that negative thinking of the brain and get it focused on the fact that we can do it. And all of good learning comes from, you know, outside of our comfort zone and pushing us beyond our limits. And really this ties me into the whole notion around the fact that what we think really impacts what we do and also what we pay attention to. All right, so if we keep thinking to ourselves that, no, I'm not good enough, no, I don't have those skills, I don't have that ability, I've never done that before, then of course we naturally pay attention to those things. We notice the things that we are not good at. We notice the shots that we miss, or we notice that the slow run that we did, or we notice the fact that we haven't achieved the level of speed that we've got. But we can actually change the structure of our brain, right? We can create new neural pathways in our brain and get our brain focusing on the things that we want to be focusing on, right? So we want to be focused on this goal of speed, this goal of fitness, of, you know, good shooting technique and, you know, getting a certain amount of baskets. We want to focus on that. And so through goal setting, through trying to nurture a growth mindset, we can actually build that structure in the brain and focus on the fact that we can achieve those things. So our brain is hardwired, has a negative bias, hardwired negative bias. So any opportunity that our brain has to look at the negative of a situation, right, find everything that's wrong with everything, it will. And so a lot of research out there to suggest that for every negative thought that we have to negate that with 3 positive thoughts. That's massive. That's a lot. That's how powerful the negative bias is in our brain. So for every 1 negative thought, we have to have 3 positive thoughts. Now, the power of just knowing that is quite huge. And actually does a lot for our focus and a lot for our mindset. Also knowing that you can control your brain is also a very powerful learning and something that really helps nurture your growth mindset. The average person has 70,000 thoughts a day. So every 1.2 seconds, we are having a new thought, right? Or a thought, right? A changing thought. The interesting thing is that those thoughts are exactly the same thoughts that we've had earlier today, thoughts we had yesterday, thoughts we had last week, last month, last year. Our thoughts are constantly on repeat cycle. And remember, that's because that's what the brain knows, all right? The mindset and the brain, that's all it knows is the beliefs and the thoughts that we've had. So we have to actually change its focus, change its direction to what we want it to focus on, right? And we want it to focus on the things that we're good at. And we want to focus on trying to nurture that and build our ability, right? Because we've got a growth mindset. All right, we've got a growth mindset that we can build our intelligence and we can build our abilities. And so that gives us the power of changing the structure of our brain. Hence the beauty of goal setting. So if I feed into some of the performance habits and the things that you can start to do to really help you in nurturing that growth mindset. is understanding that you are not your thoughts. Okay, so the thoughts that you are having isn't necessarily true, right? And they're not you. Okay, so those thoughts that you're having, if you're thinking about this goal that you want to work towards later in the year, and your brain starts saying, no, you can't do that. And you can't do that because you've got time limits, because you've got COVID, because you haven't got your teammates, you haven't got your coach. No, you can't do that, right? You don't have to sit there and take that. I know it sounds crazy, right? But that's what you want to do. You want to say, okay, brain, I hear what you're saying, but I do not believe you. Right, I do not believe you, and I'm going for it because this goal that I want to work towards and building my ability is more important to me than you telling me that I can't do it. All right, so you are not your thoughts. So think about it, next time you notice thoughts, we have 70,000 of them, think about what they are, Also think about what they do to your body. So in those moments that you're feeling self-doubt or lacking confidence, or, like all of us struggling in the midst of, lockdown and isolation right now, think about what sensations you get in your body. Is that causing an element of stress? Is that causing frustration? Is it causing anger? And probably, you're having a roller coaster of emotions like us all. And the key with our thoughts and emotions, particularly our emotions, is that, there's no right or wrong. We are emotional beings, and, we are experienced to have a range of emotions. It's about understanding where these emotions come from, which typically they start in your mind, they start from your thoughts, and then it's also choosing the way that we respond to these emotions, all right, that we're not responding in a way that's not favorable to us. So if we're having a thought of self-doubt and we're feeling in our body, I can't do it, and then we decide, nah, I'm not going to do that skills session right now, forget it. That's not favoring us, that's not helping us towards our goal. This leads me into the concept of inner critic to inner coach, right? So you guys are quite familiar in having a basketball coach, or perhaps a performance coach, any type of coach, even a teacher or a mentor. And, they're there building us up. They're building our motivation, they're building our confidence, they're helping us towards our goals. In the midst of not having them readily available at our disposal, we have to build our inner coach, right? And so this, again, we're tuning into the thoughts. We're listening to what the inner critic is telling us. What's our mindset telling us, or our brain telling us that we can't do it? We haven't got the time, I haven't got my teammates, I can't do it. And we want to say, I hear you, right? I hear you, inner critic, but I've got this, all right? I have got this. And so in nurturing your mindset, you do a lot of self-talk, right? And a lot of self-talk in your mind. You can talk out loud, why not, right? But it's about just acknowledging and saying, okay, I hear you, but I've got this, The other powerful performance habit is using the word yet. All right, so there's a couple of goals there around speed and in fitness and endurance, and perhaps you're looking at the fact that you don't have a level of speed or endurance or fitness yet, right? But we don't want to say, I can't do that, I'm not fit enough yet, I'm not fast enough yet. We want to put the word yet at the end. We don't want to say, I'm not fast enough, I'm not good enough. We want to say the word yet, because yes, we're not, right? Back when I did that 4K run around my local track, I was not a marathon runner, definitely not. But I wasn't a marathon runner yet. And even, as I said, that wasn't on my focus. I just wanted to get around that track without wanting to spew. So, it's looking at, okay, I can't do that yet, but I want to, and so what can you learn? With that goal that you're going to set, what can you learn that's going to help you get there? And as I said, it might not be in the traditional form that you're used to with basketball, but what other learning opportunities can you get? Who can you learn from? Who can you look up to? Who can you follow? You know, we've got access to so many different people across, you know, social media channels. We want positive role models though. Who can you look at to say, you know, I'm not there yet, but I want to be, and I'm excited to be. So they're just some performance habits that you can focus on. All right. So you're not your thoughts, inner critic to inner coach, and, you know, use the word yet. Where can you put the word yet? So in terms of the overall learning and lessons, that's it for me. I'm really keen to open it up to the forum and address any questions that you've got. Yeah, you know, if you want to share any goals or talk about anything in particular, you know, it's an open forum for you to share, and you can use the audio or the chat section as well. So if you are interested, you're welcome to, you know, follow what Lisa and I do over on Facebook or Instagram if you are on there, or check out our website. Yeah, we're always posting a lot of tips around mindset and health and well-being, and obviously Lisa will be joining next week around nutrition. I'll stop the share.
Excellent. I might just a second for anyone, if you've got a question, to type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself as well.
Yes, Henry, beautiful question, because I absolutely love mindfulness and meditation. So yes, and I do a load of meditation and mindfulness practices to help with motivation and confidence. So a couple of the key strategies that I can share is journaling, right? So, or writing in the morning, right? So first thing in the morning, you might want to wake up and just write some of the thoughts, or something that you want to focus on during the day. You know, what's your intention for the day? And you might want to tie it into that goal that you've got. Another great mindfulness activity is gratitude. So at the end of the night, you might want to just sit down and write, you know, what are some of the things I'm grateful for? You know, what are some of the things that have been great in my day? And the power of doing that gratitude exercise before bed is that you go to bed and to sleep and rest with a real grateful heart and a focus on the good things. And I'm a big believer in that when we can cultivate that type of mindset, that it helps us to build our motivation and the joy in our life as well. And of course, meditation is a very powerful exercise. And if anyone's interested in trying meditation, I use a great app myself, despite teaching meditation, but it's called Insight Timer. So I'll type that into the chat for you. All right, so there is a lot of different meditations that you can get on that app. There's meditations for kids, all different ages. There's also meditations for different genres. You know, there's a lot of performance ones there, a lot of motivation. There's mindset meditations there as well, even relaxation. So yeah, really great app that can really help to nurture your mindset and, you know, get you thinking about the things that you want to achieve and nurturing that positive growth mindset. Anyone else had any other questions? Give every a moment as you all busily type, I'm sure. Or if you want to jump on the audio, I always love chatting.
Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourselves. I think I've changed that setting.
Can always be a bit daunting jumping on the audio too. I get that. Even in a workplace context, I've got work colleagues I work with will refuse to put their camera on, no matter what age we are.
Might have covered everything, answered all the questions.
All right, beautiful. Well, as I said, I'm going to send that one pager through to Todd. Probably I'll send it through to you tomorrow morning, Todd. And yeah, there's just a little bit more information there about the growth mindset, and a bit of an activity that you can do at the bottom, which is all about, you know, putting pen to paper and finding a goal that you want to work towards for the rest of the year, in help, you know, supporting yourself, not just for basketball, but, you know, your health and well-being as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Natalie, for joining us and going through all that information. I think it's really valuable for everyone, not just now, but going forward for the rest of their basketball careers and onwards, being able to set goals and do these things. So thank you very much. I saw lots of people on camera writing things down, taking notes. That was great. As Natalie said, we'll send out information tomorrow. I'll send all the links to social media and your website as well. So if anyone wants to get in contact or follow up, you can as well.
Beautiful, thank you.
So yeah, next week we'll have Lisa join us, who's here tonight as well, talking about nutrition. I might put you on the spot and just see if you can give everyone a 1 or 2 sentence overview of what they might learn next week.
Sure. Look, I'll be looking at it from a family perspective and just some nice nutrition tips to help everyone while we're in lockdown and making sure that we're keeping our healthy eating on track, and also some great opportunities to have a look at a few recipes that people may like to make up for the kids that are fueling for the sport, in our normal times, and even at home. Hopefully we're all keeping active. So yeah, I'll have a few surprises in there people will enjoy reading and listening to.
Excellent. All right. So that'll be same time next Wednesday, 7:30. We'll send that link out. Actually, I'll get that out very soon because we've got that all organised. I might send it out with the recap of tonight. So thank you both again. So our next session will be on Sunday. If anyone hasn't seen already, we've got Joey Wright, who coached the Adelaide 36ers last year, doing a skills session. So definitely make sure you get along to that. That will be fantastic on Sunday, and we'll make sure that even if the weather's not great, we'll be able to do it undercover and out of the rain if that's the case. Just before we go, to reward all those people that I see often tuning in live, we'll have a quick competition, and the winner will get one of these Broncos face masks, which some people have bought already. So if everyone can open their little chat box, I'll ask a question, and then the first correct answer will be our winner. So if you want to open that up quick, I'll give everyone a second. As soon as I ask the question, you know the answer, you can type it in. Okay. I need somebody to name one of the NBA teams that won today. Don't say Lakers. Henry. Trailblazers. Portland. Yes. All right. So Henry's our winner. First correct answer in. Well done. So if you want to just stay on the end of this chat, I'll get all your details. I'll send them out to you. But anyone else, you can buy them on the website as well. There's still plenty left. So I'll throw in there. All right. Thank you, everyone. If there's no more questions, we might wrap it up. Have we got anyone? All right. So thank you. We'll hopefully see you guys Sunday and again next Wednesday. Thank you.